Wisdom of the earth, lessons unfold from Cornville's heart, red rocks behold.
Hi, my name is Christina, and I am the marketing specialist for Wisdom of the Earth. Today, we are here with Susan Bender, who is one of our MDs. Susan, thank you so much for being here with us today. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Christina. Thank you so much for having me here today. So, I am an aromatherapist and I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I was thinking about this the other day. I have been using essential oils, specifically Wisdom of the Earth essential oils, for almost 20 years.
Wow.
It has it's been a long journey learning about all of the oils that they carry because when I first started using essential oils, I had lavender and I had lemon. And I knew lavender helped soothe, it helped calm you down, and I knew lemon helped pick you up. And I was really interested in adding essential oils to my practice as a massage therapist and body worker. And I couldn't find the right oil. I couldn't find the right company. And then I met the owner of Wisdom of the Earth, and she handed me a bottle of Divana. I had never even heard of Divana before. So I started using it, and I was amazed at, first of all, the quality of the oils. It was very different than any other oil I had ever used. And also, I really jibed with the company and their philosophies. Just by nature, I'm a really curious person. And so, one of their philosophies is education. And so, I got all of this education. They didn't hand me a brochure. When you come to me and say, I have a headache, I don't go, okay, ABC, headache, peppermint, that's it. No, I have all this information about the headache and the root cause of the headache, and also dozens of different oils that might be appropriate for your type of headache. So that was something that really, really attracted me to the company. And I have always, since I was young in my 20s, I knew that I wanted my life to be my work and my work to be my life. I never really liked that separation of, okay, I go to work, I'm this person, I have to do this, and now I come home and I get to live my life and I'm Susan. So I just feel like using these oils and working with these oils helps keep me connected to who I really am and is such a huge part of how I want to live my life and my work.
I love that. That's beautiful. I think that that is a societal struggle that we face in a really big way, right? That separation of who I am at work and who I am in life. And the oils do present the opportunity for us to maintain a connection with self, maintain a connection with spirit, maintain a connection with, all that embodies the fullness of life rather than just kind of compartmentalizing in the ways that we do.
Yes, it really does. And
Definitely.
I have found since I started using the oils and understanding more about a variety of oils, not just my lavender and my lemon, that it expands that whole life even more.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I really, I'm about to ask you what led you to being an MD, but I feel like you've already answered that. I mean, when you're working with your patients or your clients through massage therapy, do you do like a consultation with them before to determine what type of oil you're going to use with them?
So I use the oils in my body work in several different ways. I do straight out consultations with people, but I have also developed anointings that I do. And we start with a cup of black tea, black cumin seed tea. And during that time, I talk to them a little bit about what's going on. I have an idea about, what to use to boost their immunity, give them a little more clarity, but they can be really specific with me. I was just diagnosed with X and X, and I need some help with that. My A1C level went up. I'm pre-diabetic. Can we talk about that? So I adjust the oils I'm going to use during an anointing based on the information I receive over that cup of black cumin seed tea. I I have found that an anointing is as relaxing as a full body massage. But the interesting thing is, a client leaves completely relaxed, but they leave really clear. They have their wits about them, so to speak. They're not driving off into the hedges when they leave my office.
Massage
So
parlor, right? They love it. Massage.
exactly, exactly. A lot of times after a Lomi Lomi session, they're running red lights on the way home. It's really hard to gather thoughts, but the oils work in a completely different way. So they're relaxing with the touch and the anointing and the oils, but the oils are also providing clarity and this mental boost. I
Wow.
love that.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. So how when you I mean, you just explained how you incorporate them professionally. How do you use them personally? How do you feel like you've really developed that relationship as an individual with the oils?
I have my favorites. I have my go-tos. I have always said if I could have one essential oil for the rest of my life, it would be helichrysum. I find I go through bottles and bottles of helichrysum, and I use it for pretty much everything. If I could have two essential oils for the rest of my life, it would be helichrysum and a frankincense. I adore frankincense. I I run to my workroom if I'm feeling off or if I want to work on something and I just study the oils. And sometimes I get a feeling, sometimes I'm tapping into all that education and knowledge I have and I know, okay, catnip is the one. I know that. So I find them to be kind of a first line of defense, if you will. And the funny thing is, it's summertime. I love to have friends over for backyard barbecues in the summertime. Every single one of my friends, every single one of their guests who shows up at my backyard barbecues, they go home with a bottle of eucalyptus lemon all the time. I fell at one of my backyard barbecues last summer and I got really badly bunged up and bloody, scraped up. And I ran back to my little office, my healing room, and a couple of my friends followed me and they said, "You have something for that, right?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And I started grabbing bottles and pouring them on me.
That's wonderful. And lemon eucalyptus, why lemon eucalyptus specific?
Is a great insect repellent. And I do live in the high desert, but we have mosquitoes from time to time. And so just to keep any bug away, they they love the eucalyptus lemon.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We actually are getting ready to do a promotion for lemon eucalyptus as a repellent. So I think that's great.
Oh, nice, nice. Yes, one of my friends brought her father to my July 4th celebration a couple years ago, and he was so cute. He wanted to get my email before he left town, and he emailed me promptly and ordered 2 bottles of eucalyptus lemon.
I love that. I love that. I mean, and there's no chemicals. It has the same effect, and you're just not dealing with all of the side effects, the negative side effects from, like the corporate deep sprays and what have you.
Exactly, and they love how they smell, so
I love that. Do you have a favorite story of just kind of like something that really stands out to you of an experience that you had either personally or with a client it was really impactful because of the oils.
Absolutely. My favorite story is my client who came to me just for a massage. And when I started working on her neck, she mentioned that about 6 months prior, she had a shingles outbreak. And it was one of those really dangerous shingles outbreaks that comes down your forehead towards your eyes. And she said it was just terrible, and she didn't know what to do about the pain. And so I ran over to my oils and I grabbed an oil that I always recommend for shingles, and I dabbed it along her forehead all the way down to her eyebrow where she was telling me she had had this infection. And I went back to the massage, and in less than a minute, she started crying. Her eyes were tearing up, and I reached for my coconut oil to dilute the essential oil because I thought I had gotten it too close to her eye, and she was experiencing some pain. And she said, "No, no, no, you don't understand. This is the first time in 6 months I have not been in pain."
Oh,
It makes me emotional even now, 2 years later. It was so stunning to me, the power of these oils.
wow. What was the oil?
It was blue cypress.
Blue cypress. Wow. Okay. Yeah. And that's
And
a
she
powerful,
went home with a bottle that day.
and she did. Came back for
She
good.
did.
So, in terms of your own practice and your, like experience and what you've been building, what is it that you feel like is the difference that you bring in your practice and with the oils?
I have really been attracted to ancient forms of healing during my work life. The body work that I practice is ancient Lomi Lomi. It's been around for thousands of years. It came out of the temples of Hawaii. The lineage that I practice came out of the temples of Hawaii. And I feel like essential oils fits that that attraction of mine, that curiosity so well. You know, plants and trees were our original medicine, and bringing that knowledge back to modern day and sharing that with other people, I think is really important. I think it changes people's outlook, it changes their attitude. So that's something that is very different about how I approach my practice and how I work with people. I am always I'm not a rush, rush, rush person. Let's find the answer and move on. I like to sit with what's coming up and the client that I'm with. And I don't know, the pace of that, there's something about that that just serves me and my clients very well. And like I said, the oils just really fit into that so well for me.
Yeah, I imagine so. I think that the art of slowing down is something that people have to be taught because we live in a world that's very instant gratification, very meet this thought here and now, and they don't always connect all of their thoughts because they're too scattered. And so, that is an ancient practice of that slowing down. So thank you
Yeah.
for bringing that difference into the world because it's definitely one that is needed without a shadow of a doubt. If people were interested in working with oils, becoming an MD, just I don't know anything about it and like I'm curious, what would your words of encouragement be to them in that exploration?
Take your time. Like I was just saying, you don't need to absorb all of this in one workshop even, because it can be like drinking from a fire hose. It's pretty overwhelming when you step into this world and you realize there's more than lavender, there's more than lemon. They're both fabulous. But gosh, there's just this connection we have to life and nature, this connection we have to the earth and the plants growing on it is so stunning. So really just sitting with it and allowing all of this information to wash over you, absorb as much as you can, and keep coming back to it. Keep coming back to it. I find that to be so helpful when I'm sitting in my massage room waiting for my next client. I'm usually reading a book about essential oils and how they can serve me. So, yeah, really, really sitting with it and taking your time.
I think that is very wonderful and sound advice. Absolutely, because there's a relationship that's developed through the process and you can't rush that.
Absolutely.
So, Susan, I know you have a seminar that's coming up, and given the fact that you've shared all the amazing, beautiful things that you do in your own practice and education that you have to offer, I'd love to give you the opportunity to share with everyone what your upcoming seminar is. And if they want to join in on the fun, then we'll give them the link below so that they can do that as well. But go ahead and let us know what you have coming up.
My next workshop is coming up September 18th here in Santa Fe. We are doing it live, and it's a 2.5 day workshop. We start Friday afternoon, and this workshop covers everything you ever wanted to know about essential oils, from how they're made. We cover the uses and properties of over 90 essential oils in the workshop. We talk about the chakra systems, the systems of the body, and which oils relate to all of those. It's an amazing 2.5 days to spend learning about essential oils and how to really incorporate them into your life and your lifestyle.
Amazing. Well, Susan, it sounds fantastic. And thank you so much for spending some time with us and sharing, what it is that you do and your passion with everyone and helping people to understand a little bit more about the oils because, that's why we're here. So thank
And
you.
I love them so much. I just want to share that with everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Susan, and I look forward to learning more along the way with you.
Thank you, Christina.
Wisdom of the earth.